When purchasing hazardous materials from retail stores, it is essential to be prepared to obtain material safety data sheets independently if necessary. A customer asked for an MSDS sheet for muriatic acid, but the sales associate was unfamiliar with the term. Neither the sales associate nor the manager had knowledge of the Right to Know program, which requires employers to provide employees with MSDS sheets for hazardous chemicals. The customer was advised to download the MSDS sheet from the internet. Employees who purchase hazardous materials from retail stores may encounter a lack of knowledge about MSDS sheets and Right to Know requirements. Employers should inform employees that they may need to obtain MSDS sheet independently from the internet when purchasing hazardous materials from retail outlets. Retail stores should ensure that their employees are aware of MSDS sheet requirements and the Right to Know program. Recommendations are as follows. Firstly, provide employees with clear instructions on obtaining MSDS sheets for hazardous materials, including guidance on downloading them from the internet. Secondly, train retail store employees on the importance of MSDS sheets and the Right to Know program. Thirdly, consider partnering with a supplier who provides MSDS sheets with hazardous material purchases. Material Safety Data Sheets, or MSDS, are critical documents that provide detailed information about hazardous materials. They are essential for workplace safety and compliance with regulations. The Right to Know program mandates that employers must inform employees about the hazardous chemicals they may be exposed to in the workplace and provide them with access to MSDS sheets. When purchasing hazardous materials from retail stores, it is important to be aware that employees may not always be knowledgeable about MSDS sheets or the Right to Know program. In such cases, it is necessary to take proactive steps to obtain the required information independently. Downloading MSDS sheets from the internet is a viable option. Many manufacturers and suppliers provide MSDS sheets on their websites. However, it is crucial to ensure that the downloaded MSDS sheet is for the specific product and manufacturer. Employers should provide employees with clear instructions on how to obtain MSDS sheets for hazardous materials, including guidance on downloading them from the internet. This training should cover the importance of MSDS sheets, the information they contain, and how to interpret the information. Retail stores that sell hazardous materials have a responsibility to ensure that their employees are aware of MSDS sheet requirements and the Right to Know program. This training should cover the legal requirements, the importance of MSDS sheets for customer safety, and how to access MSDS sheets for the products they sell. Partnering with a supplier who provides MSDS sheets with hazardous material purchases can streamline the process and ensure that employees have easy access to the information they need. This partnership can also include training on the safe handling and use of the hazardous materials. Understanding material safety data sheets is paramount when handling hazardous materials. These sheets are comprehensive resources detailing crucial information that ensures safety and regulatory compliance. Let's delve into the key components of an MSDS, providing a clear understanding of each section and its importance. Firstly, identification. This section clearly identifies the material, including its chemical name, common name, and any trade names. It also includes the manufacturer's or supplier's contact information, such as their name, address, and emergency phone number. Secondly, hazard identification. This section outlines the potential hazards associated with the material, including its flammability, toxicity, reactivity, and any potential health effect. It also includes the signal word, such as danger or warning, which indicates the severity of the hazard. Thirdly, composition information. This section lists the chemical ingredients of the material, including their chemical abstract service, or CAS, registry numbers and their concentrations. This information is crucial for understanding the potential health effects of the material. Fourthly, first aid measures. This section provides instructions on what to do in case of exposure to the material, such as inhalation, ingestion, skin contact, or eye contact. It includes information on immediate medical attention and any specific treatments that may be required. Fifthly, firefighting measures. This section provides guidance on how to extinguish fires involving the material, including the appropriate extinguishing agents and any special precautions that may be necessary. Sixthly, accidental release measures. This section outlines the steps to take in case of a spill or a leak of the material, including containment and cleanup procedures. It also includes information on personal protective equipment and environmental precautions. Seventhly, handling and storage. This section provides instructions on how to safely handle and store the material, including temperature and humidity requirements, ventilation needs, and incompatible materials. Eighthly, exposure controls and personal protection. This section outlines the measures to take to minimize exposure to the material, including engineering controls such as ventilation and personal protective equipment such as gloves, respirators, and eye protection. Ninthly, physical and chemical properties. This section lists the physical and chemical properties of the material, such as its appearance, odor, boiling point, melting point, flash point, and vapor pressure. Tenthly, stability and reactivity. This section describes the stability of the material and its potential reactivity with other substances. It includes information on conditions to avoid, such as heat, sparks, and open flames, and incompatible materials. 11thly, toxicological information. This section provides detailed information on the potential health effects of the material, including acute and chronic toxicity, carcinogenicity, and reproductive toxicity. 12thly, ecological information. This section provides information on the potential environmental impact of the material, including its toxicity to aquatic life and its persistence in the environment. 13thly, disposal considerations. This section outlines the proper methods for disposing of the material, including any special precautions that may be necessary. 14thly, transport information. This section provides information on how to transport the material safely, including any required labeling and packaging. 15thly, regulatory information. This section lists the regulations that apply to the material, such as Occupational Safety and Health Administration, or OSHA, Hazard Communications Standard, and the Environmental Protection Agency, or EPA, Resource Conservation and Recovery Act, or RCRA. 16thly, other information. This section may include additional information about the material, such as its intended use, its shelf life, and any special handling instructions. By understanding the key components of an MSDS, you can ensure that you are handling hazardous materials safely and in compliance with regulations. Always review the MSDS before working with any hazardous material. In addition to understanding material safety data sheets, it is crucial to have a comprehensive understanding of the Right to Know program. This program ensures that employees have access to information about the hazardous chemicals they may encounter in the workplace. Let's explore the key aspects of the Right to Know program. Firstly, the purpose of the Right to Know program is to protect employees from the hazards of chemicals in the workplace. It ensures that employees have the information they need to work safely with hazardous materials. Secondly, the key requirements of the Right to Know program include hazard communication, training, and access to information. Employers must provide employees with information about the hazards of chemicals in the workplace, train them on how to work safely with these chemicals, and provide them with access to material safety data sheets. Thirdly, hazard communication involves labeling containers of hazardous chemicals, providing material safety data sheets, and developing a written hazard communication program. Labels must include the identity of the chemical, hazard warnings, and the name and address of the manufacturer or supplier. Fourthly, training must be provided to employees on the hazards of chemicals in the workplace, how to protect themselves from these hazards, and how to read and understand material safety data sheets. Training must be provided when employees are first assigned to work with hazardous chemicals and whenever new hazards are introduced into the workplace. Fifthly, access to information includes providing employees with access to material safety data sheets and other information about hazardous chemicals in the workplace. Employees must be able to access this information at any time during their work shift. Sixthly, the benefits of the Right to Know program include a safer workplace, reduced risk of chemical exposure, and increased employee awareness of chemical hazards. The program also helps employers comply with OSHA regulations. Seventhly, employer responsibilities under the Right to Know program include developing a written hazard communication program, labeling containers of hazardous chemicals, providing material safety data sheets, training employees on the hazards of chemicals in the workplace, and providing employees with access to information about hazardous chemicals. Eighthly, employee rights under the Right to Know program include the right to know about the hazards of chemicals in the workplace, the right to receive training on how to work safely with these chemicals, and the right to access material safety data sheets and other information about hazardous chemicals. Ninthly, compliance with the Right to Know program is essential for protecting employees from the hazards of chemicals in the workplace and for complying with OSHA regulations. Failure to comply with the program can result in fines and other penalties. Tenthly, resources for the Right to Know program include OSHA publications, training materials, and online resources. Employers and employees can use these resources to learn more about the program and how to comply with its requirements. By understanding the key aspects of the Right to Know program, you can ensure that your workplace is safe and compliant with regulations. Always follow the requirements of the program when working with hazardous chemicals. Now let's delve into the process of downloading material safety data sheets from the internet. This is a valuable skill that enables you to access crucial safety information quickly and efficiently. Firstly, identifying reputable sources is paramount. Start by visiting the manufacturer's website. Most manufacturers provide MSDS sheets for their products directly on their site. Look for a section labeled Safety Data Sheets, MSDS, or Technical Documents. Secondly, utilizing search engines can be helpful. If you cannot find the MSDS sheet on the manufacturer's website, use a search engine like Google or Bing. Enter the product name along with MSDS or Safety Data Sheet. Be sure to evaluate the credibility of the website before downloading anything. Thirdly, verifying the MSDS sheet's authenticity is critical. Once you find an MSDS sheet, verify that it is for the correct product and manufacturer. Check the revision date to ensure that you have the most up-to-date version. Fourthly, downloading the MSDS sheet involves clicking on the download link or button. The MSDS sheet will typically be in portable document format or PDF. Fifthly, saving the MSDS sheet in an accessible location is important. Save the downloaded MSDS sheet to a folder on your computer or network where it can be easily accessed. Consider creating a dedicated folder for MSDS sheets. Sixthly, printing the MSDS sheet is advisable. Print a copy of the MSDS sheet and keep it in a binder or other organized system. This will ensure that you have access to the information even if you do not have access to a computer. Seventhly, understanding the MSDS sheet's contents is crucial. Review the MSDS sheet carefully to understand the hazards associated with the material, how to handle it safely, and what to do in case of an emergency. Eighthly, sharing the MSDS sheet with others is important. Share the MSDS sheet with anyone who will be working with the material. This will ensure that everyone is aware of the hazards and how to work safely. Ninthly, keeping MSDS sheets updated is essential. MSDS sheets are updated periodically to reflect new information about the material. Make sure to check for updated MSDS sheets regularly. Tenthly, seeking additional assistance if needed is always a good idea. If you have any questions about the MSDS sheet or the material, contact the manufacturer or supplier for assistance. By following these steps, you can effectively download material safety data sheets from the internet and ensure that you have access to the information you need to work safely with hazardous materials. Furthermore, let's discuss the importance of training retail store employees on material safety data sheets and the Right to Know program. Well-trained employees are essential for ensuring customer safety and compliance with regulations. Firstly, understanding the importance of MSDS sheets is crucial. Retail store employees should understand the purpose of MSDS sheets and the information they contain. They should be able to explain the importance of MSDS sheets to customers. Secondly, knowing how to access MSDS sheets is essential. Retail store employees should know how to access MSDS sheets for the products they sell. They should be able to find MSDS sheets online or in a physical binder. Thirdly, explaining the right to know program to customers is important. Retail store employees should be able to explain the right to know program to customers and how it protects them from hazardous chemicals. Fourthly, providing guidance on safe handling and use is crucial. Retail store employees should be able to provide customers with guidance on how to safely handle and use hazardous materials. They should be able to answer customers' questions about the safe use of products. Fifthly, knowing how to respond to customer inquiries is essential. Retail store employees should be trained on how to respond to customer inquiries about MSDS sheets and the Right to Know program. They should be able to provide accurate and helpful information. Sixthly, training on emergency procedures is important. Retail store employees should be trained on emergency procedures in case of a spill or other incident involving hazardous materials. They should know how to contact emergency services and how to evacuate the store if necessary. Seventhly, emphasizing the importance of compliance is crucial. Retail store employees should understand the importance of complying with regulations related to MSDS sheets and the Right to Know program. They should be aware of the potential consequences of non-compliance. Eighthly, providing ongoing training is essential. Retail store employees should receive ongoing training on MSDS sheets and the Right to Know program. This will ensure that they stay up to date on the latest information and regulations. Ninthly, creating a culture of safety is important. Retail store employees should be encouraged to create a culture of safety in the store. They should be empowered to identify and report potential hazards. Tenthly, recognizing the benefits of training is crucial. Retail store employees should understand the benefits of training on MSDS sheets and the Right to Know program. They should see the training as an investment in their safety and the safety of their customers. By providing comprehensive training to retail store employees, you can ensure that they are equipped to handle hazardous materials safely and to provide accurate information to customers. This will help to protect customers from harm and to comply with regulations. Now, let's consider the benefits of partnering with a supplier who provides material safety data sheets with hazardous material purchases. This partnership can streamline the process and ensure that you have access to the information you need. Firstly, ensuring easy access to MSDS sheets is paramount. Partnering with a supplier who provides MSDS sheets with hazardous material purchases ensures that you have easy access to the information you need. You do not have to search for MSDS sheets online or contact the manufacturer. Secondly, receiving up-to-date MSDS sheets is crucial. A supplier who provides MSDS sheets will typically provide the most up-to-date versions. This ensures that you have the latest information on the hazards associated with the material. Thirdly, simplifying compliance with regulations is a major benefit. Having MSDS sheets readily available simplifies compliance with regulations related to hazardous materials. You can easily provide employees with the information they need to work safely. Fourthly, saving time and resources is another advantage. Partnering with a supplier who provides MSDS sheets saves you time and resources. You do not have to spend time searching for MSDS sheets or creating your own. Fifthly, improving workplace safety is a key outcome. By having easy access to MSDS sheets, you can improve workplace safety. Employees are better able to understand the hazards associated with the materials they are working with and how to protect themselves. Sixthly, enhancing employee training is facilitated. A supplier who provides MSDS sheets can also provide training on the safe handling and use of the materials. This can enhance employee training and improve workplace safety. Seventhly, strengthening supplier relationships is a valuable benefit. Partnering with a supplier who provides MSDS sheets strengthens your relationship with the supplier. You can work together to ensure that you have the information you need to work safely. Eighthly, reducing liability is a significant advantage. By having easy access to MSDS sheets and providing employees with training, you can reduce your liability in case of an incident involving hazardous materials. Ninthly, demonstrating commitment to safety is important. Partnering with a supplier who provides MSDS sheets demonstrates your commitment to safety. This can improve your reputation and attract customers who value safety. 10thly, creating a more sustainable supply chain is a potential benefit. By working with a supplier who is committed to safety and sustainability, you can create a more sustainable supply chain. This can benefit your business and the environment. By partnering with a supplier who provides material safety data sheets with hazardous material purchases, you can streamline the process, improve workplace safety, and comply with regulations. This partnership can benefit your business and your employees. Let's discuss the legal implications of material safety data sheets and the Right to Know program. Understanding these legal aspects is crucial for ensuring compliance and protecting your business. Firstly, OSHA's Hazard Communication Standard is the foundation. The OSHA Hazard Communication Standard 29 Code of Federal Regulations 1910.1200 is the primary regulation governing MSDS sheets and the Right to Know program. This standard requires employers to provide employees with information about the hazards of chemicals in the workplace. Secondly, the Right to Know laws vary by state. In addition to the federal OSHA standard, many states have their own Right to Know laws. These laws may have additional requirements beyond the federal standard. Thirdly, failure to comply can result in penalties. Failure to comply with OSHA's Hazard Communication Standard or state Right to Know laws can result in fines and other penalties. The penalties can be substantial depending on the severity of the violation. Fourthly, employers have a duty to provide information. Employers have a legal duty to provide employees with information about the hazards of chemicals in the workplace. This includes providing access to material safety data sheets and training on the safe handling and use of hazardous materials. Fifthly, employees have a right to know. Employees have a legal right to know about the hazards of chemicals in the workplace. This includes the right to access material safety data sheets and to receive training on the safe handling and use of hazardous materials. Sixthly, MSDS sheets are required for hazardous chemicals. MSDS sheets are required for all hazardous chemicals used in the workplace. The MSDS sheet must provide detailed information about the hazards of the chemical, how to handle it safely, and what to do in case of an emergency. Seventhly, training must be provided to employees. Training must be provided to employees on the hazards of chemicals in the workplace, how to protect themselves from these hazards, and how to read and understand material safety data sheets. Eighthly, record keeping is essential for compliance. Employees must keep records of MSDS sheets, training records, and other information related to the Hazard Communication Standard. These records must be available for inspection by OSHA. Ninthly, legal challenges can arise from non-compliance. Non-compliance with OSHA's Hazard Communication Standard or state Right to Know laws can lead to legal challenges, including lawsuits by employees who have been injured as a result of exposure to hazardous chemicals. Tenthly, staying up to date on regulations is crucial. The legal requirements related to MSDS sheets and the Right to Know program can change over time. It is important to stay up to date on the latest regulations to ensure compliance. By understanding the legal implications of material safety data sheets and the Right to Know program, you can ensure that your business is in compliance and that your employees are protected from the hazards of chemicals in the workplace. Always consult with legal counsel to ensure compliance with all applicable laws and regulations. Furthermore, let's discuss the role of technology in managing material safety data sheets. Technology can significantly streamline the process and improve access to information. Firstly, digital MSDS management systems are a game changer. Digital MSDS management systems allow you to store and manage MSDS sheets electronically. This makes it easy to access MSDS sheets from any location and to keep them up to date. Secondly, cloud-based solutions offer accessibility. Cloud-based MSDS management systems offer the added benefit of accessibility from any device with an internet connection. This makes it easy for employees to access MSDS sheets from their computers, tablets, or smartphones. Thirdly, mobile apps provide convenience. Mobile apps for MSDS management allow employees to access MSDS sheets on their smartphones or tablets. This is particularly useful for employees who work in the field or who need to access MSDS sheets quickly in an emergency. Fourthly, search functionality simplifies access. Digital MSDS management systems typically include search functionality that allows you to quickly find the MSDS sheet you need. You can search by product name, manufacturer, or CAS number. Fifthly, automatic updates ensure accuracy. Some digital MSDS management systems offer automatic updates, which ensure that you always have the most up-to-date versions of MSDS sheets. Sixthly, integration with other systems is beneficial. Digital MSDS management systems can be integrated with other systems such as inventory management systems and safety management systems. This can streamline your operations and improve overall safety. Seventhly, compliance tracking simplifies reporting. Digital MSDS management systems can help you track compliance with regulations related to MSDS sheets and the Right to Know program. This can simplify reporting and reduce the risk of penalties. Eighthly, cost savings can be significant. Digital MSDS management systems can save you money on printing, storage, and labor costs. They can also reduce the risk of fines and penalties. Ninthly, improved safety is the ultimate goal. By using technology to manage MSDS sheets, you can improve workplace safety and reduce the risk of accidents and injuries. Tenthly, selecting the right technology is key. When selecting a digital MSDS management system, it is important to choose a system that meets your specific needs and budget. Consider factors such as the number of MSDS sheets you need to manage, the number of employees who will need access to the system, and the level of integration you need with other systems. By leveraging technology, you can significantly improve the management of material safety data sheets and enhance workplace safety. Always evaluate your specific needs and choose a technology solution that best fits your requirements. Let's delve into some best practices for maintaining material safety data sheets. Consistent and organized maintenance is crucial for ensuring safety and compliance. Firstly, establishing a designated MSDS coordinator is paramount. Assign a specific person or team to be responsible for managing MSDS sheets. This ensures accountability and consistency. Secondly, creating a centralized MSDS library is essential. Maintain a central location for all MSDS sheets, whether it is a physical binder or a digital system. This makes it easy for employees to find the information they need. Thirdly, ensuring easy accessibility for employees is crucial. Make sure that MSDS sheets are easily accessible to all employees who work with hazardous materials. This may involve providing access to a physical binder or a digital system. Fourthly, regularly updating MSDS sheets is important. MSDS sheets should be updated whenever new information becomes available or when a new version is released by the manufacturer. Fifthly, removing outdated MSDS sheets is essential. Remove outdated MSDS sheets from your library to avoid confusion and ensure that employees are using the most up-to-date information. Sixthly, conducting periodic audits is crucial. Conduct periodic audits of your MSDS library to ensure that all MSDS sheets are up to date and accurate. Seventhly, providing employee training on MSDS access and interpretation is important. Train employees on how to access MSDS sheets and how to interpret the information they contain. Eighthly, integrating MSDS sheets into safety training programs is beneficial. Incorporate MSDS sheets into your overall safety training program to reinforce the importance of safety and to ensure that employees are aware of the hazards associated with the materials they work with. Ninthly, establishing a process for emergency access is crucial. Establish a process for accessing MSDS sheets in an emergency, such as a spill or release of a hazardous material. Tenthly, documenting all MSDS-related activities is essential. Document all MSDS-related activities, such as updates, audits, and training. This will help you track compliance and demonstrate your commitment to safety. By following these best practices, you can ensure that your MSDS sheets are well maintained and that your employees have access to the information they need to work safely. Always prioritize safety and compliance in your MSDS management program. Let's examine some real-world examples of incidents that highlight the importance of material safety data sheets and the right to know program. These examples underscore the critical role of MSDS sheets in preventing accidents and protecting workers. Firstly, a chemical spill incident highlights the need for readily available MSDS sheets. A worker was injured when a container of a hazardous chemical spilled. The worker was not able to quickly access the MSDS sheet for the chemical, which delayed treatment and resulted in more severe injuries. Secondly, a lack of training on MSDS sheets led to an exposure incident. Employees were not properly trained on how to read and interpret MSDS sheets. As a result, they were not aware of the hazards associated with the chemicals they were working with and were exposed to harmful levels of the chemicals. Thirdly, outdated MSDS sheets contributed to a fire incident. An outdated MSDS sheet did not accurately reflect the flammability hazards of a chemical. This led to a fire that caused significant damage to the workplace and resulted in injuries to several workers. Fourthly, a failure to provide MSDS sheets resulted in a citation from OSHA. An employer failed to provide employees with access to MSDS sheets for the hazardous chemicals they were working with. As a result, the employer was cited by OSHA and fined. Fifthly, a successful emergency response was facilitated by readily available MSDS sheets. A hazardous chemical was released during a transportation accident. Emergency responders were able to quickly access the MSDS sheet for the chemical, which allowed them to take appropriate safety precautions and contain the release. Sixthly, improved safety training based on MSDS sheets reduced workplace injuries. An employer implemented a comprehensive safety training program based on MSDS sheets. As a result, workplace injuries related to hazardous chemicals were significantly reduced. Seventhly, a proactive approach to MSDS management prevented a potential disaster. An employer proactively reviewed MSDS sheets and identified a potential hazard associated with the chemical that was being used in a workplace. The employer took steps to mitigate the hazard, which prevented a potential disaster. Eighthly, a strong safety culture fostered by MSDS awareness improved employee morale. An employer fostered a strong safety culture by emphasizing the importance of MSDS sheets and the right to know program. This improved employee morale and reduced absenteeism. Ninthly, a commitment to MSDS compliance enhanced the company's reputation. A company demonstrated a commitment to MSDS compliance, which enhanced its reputation and attracted customers who value safety. Tenthly, a clear understanding of MSDS information empowered employees to make informed decisions. Employees were empowered to make informed decisions about their safety because they had a clear understanding of the information contained in MSDS sheets. These real-world examples demonstrate the critical role of material safety data sheets and the right to know program in preventing accidents, protecting workers, and ensuring compliance with regulations. By prioritizing MSDS management and employee training, employers can create a safer and healthier workplace. The availability of material safety data sheets, or MSDS, is crucial in various scenarios to ensure safety and compliance. Let's explore some specific situations where having immediate access to MSDS sheets is essential. Firstly, during chemical spills or leaks is critical. In the event of a chemical spill or leak, immediate access to the MSDS sheet is essential for determining the appropriate cleanup and containment procedures. The MSDS sheet provides information on the hazards associated with the chemical and the steps that should be taken to minimize the risk of exposure. Secondly, when handling unfamiliar chemicals is a must. Before handling an unfamiliar chemical, it is essential to review the MSDS sheet to understand the hazards associated with the chemical and the appropriate safety precautions that should be taken. The MSDS sheet provides information on the chemical's properties, potential health effects, and recommended personal protective equipment. Thirdly, in emergency situations such as fires or explosions is critical. In emergency situations such as fires or explosions involving chemicals, emergency responders need immediate access to the MSDS sheet to determine the appropriate firefighting techniques and to assess the potential risks to human health and the environment. Fourthly, when providing medical treatment for chemical exposure is essential. Medical professionals need access to the MSDS sheet to provide appropriate medical treatment for individuals who have been exposed to chemicals. The MSDS sheet provides information on the chemical's toxicity, symptoms of exposure, and recommended treatment protocols. Fifthly, during safety training and education is crucial. MSDS sheets are an essential tool for safety training and education. They provide detailed information on the hazards associated with chemicals and the appropriate safety precautions that should be taken. Sixthly, when conducting risk assessments is important. MSDS sheets are used to conduct risk assessments to identify potential hazards associated with chemicals and to develop appropriate control measures. Seventhly, for regulatory compliance is a necessity. MSDS sheets are required for regulatory compliance with OSHA's Hazard Communication Standard and other regulations. Employers must have MSDS sheets readily available for all hazardous chemicals used in the workplace. Eighthly, when developing safe work procedures is essential. MSDS sheets are used to develop safe work procedures for handling hazardous chemicals. The MSDS sheet provides information on the chemical's properties, potential hazards, and recommended safety precautions. Ninthly, during inspections by regulatory agencies is critical. Regulatory agencies such as OSHA may request to review MSDS sheets during inspections. Having MSDS sheets readily available demonstrates compliance with regulations. Tenthly, for promoting a culture of safety is paramount. Making MSDS sheets readily available promotes a culture of safety in the workplace. It demonstrates that the employer is committed to providing employees with the information they need to work safely. In all of these situations, having immediate access to material safety data sheets is essential for ensuring safety, protecting human health, and complying with regulations. Employers should take steps to ensure that MSDS sheets are readily available to all employees who work with hazardous chemicals. Finally, let's discuss the future trends in material safety data sheet management and the Right to Know program. As technology advances and regulations evolve, there are several key trends to watch. Firstly, increased digitalization of MSDS sheets is expected. The trend towards digitalization of MSDS sheets is expected to continue, with more and more companies adopting digital MSDS management systems. Secondly, enhanced mobile accessibility is anticipated. Mobile accessibility of MSDS sheets will become even more important, with employees increasingly relying on smartphones and tablets to access information in the field. Thirdly, integration with other safety systems will become more common. Integration of MSDS management systems with other safety systems, such as incident reporting systems and risk assessment tools, will become more common. Fourthly, artificial intelligence and machine learning will play a greater role. Artificial intelligence and machine learning will be used to analyze MSDS data and to identify potential hazards and trends. Fifthly, more stringent regulations are expected. Regulations related to MSDS sheets and the Right to Know program are expected to become more stringent, with a greater emphasis on employee training and access to information. Sixthly, a greater focus on worker empowerment is anticipated. There will be a greater focus on empowering workers to take control of their own safety by providing them with easy access to MSDS sheets and training on how to interpret the information they contain. Seventhly, increased transparency and access to information will be prioritized. Transparency and access to information will become even more important, with a greater emphasis on providing the public with access to information about the hazards associated with chemicals. Eighthly, a greater emphasis on sustainability and green chemistry is expected. There will be a greater emphasis on sustainability and green chemistry, with companies seeking to reduce the use of hazardous chemicals and to develop safer alternatives. Ninthly, global harmonization of MSDS standards is expected. Efforts to harmonize MSDS standards globally will continue, with the goal of creating a single, consistent system for communicating information about hazardous chemicals. Tenthly, a proactive approach to safety management will be emphasized. A proactive approach to safety management will be emphasized, with companies focusing on identifying and mitigating potential hazards before they result in accidents or injuries. These future trends in materials safety, datasheet management, and the right to know program reflect a growing commitment to safety, sustainability, and transparency. By staying informed about these trends and adapting to them proactively, companies can create a safer and healthier workplace for their employees.